Okay, as we continue, now we have what you call the compounding periods. But before you do that, we do it, make sure you join our family by subscribing to our YouTube channel and drop a comment if there is one. Okay, thank you. Okay, and like our page there so that it increases the number of availabilities into others. Okay, now let's continue. Compounding periods. Compounding periods are weights which affect N and I. Okay, these are the things that are affected in what we call compounding periods. Okay, number one, we are going to affect N and affect I. Okay, now how do we affect them? Number one, we have a word annually. Annually. What does annually means? Annually means once a year. Hence, on our N, we are going to multiply by 1, and our I, we are going to divide by 1. That is what we know, okay? First of all, okay? Then number 2, we have the word semi-annually. Semi-annually. Okay? If it's semi-annually, double L here, okay? Now, what does semi-annually mean? It means twice a year. So N should be multiplied, our N should be multiplied by 2 and our I be divided by 2. The other words for semi-annually, it can be 6 times twice a year. Can be every 6 months. That is other words for semi-annually. Okay, then you continue. We have quarterly. Okay, quarterly. We know that quarterly it's one of the confusing. We have how many quarters? We have 4 quarters in a year. So N will multiply by 4 and I will be divided by 4. Okay, but these quarters, how do they confuse? It's because we have January, February, March, which is 3 months, April, May, June, which is 3 months, June, July, August, September, which is 3 months, October, November, December, which is 3 months. They go by 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So there are 4 in a year. Okay, then we have another one which is called what? Is called monthly. Monthly. Okay, well, monthly, it's N being multiplied by 12 and I is divided by what? By 12. So these are the weights that affect N and I. We call them the compounding periods. Okay, now let's do an example and see if we do get the effect of these. Okay, number one, let's say medicine invest 120,000 into his account over the period of 3 years, given 15% per annum compounded. Then they say 1 semi-annually. 2, they say quarterly. Then 3, they say monthly. Let's do these problems and check if we do understand. Okay, number one, we have 3 things. Number one, we have 120. Number 2, we know that it's an investment, so we have a plus. So let's do it. Okay, number one, let's do the first problem, which is semi-annual. So I have A is equals to P into 1 plus I exponent n. Okay, now come with me. We're looking for A. Okay, so now number one, it's compounded by semi-annually. So we have P being 120,000 into 1 plus our I, which is 15%. We know we start by saying what? We start by saying 15 divided by 100. We have what? 0.15. So we have 0.15 divided by, since it's semi-annual, it's 2. Exponent, how many years? 3. So it's 3 years times 2. Then we punch on our calculator. Can you see how we do the compounding periods? Okay, so we have 120,000 into 1 plus, then we have 0.15 divided by 2, close brackets, exponent 3 times 2. Then what is our answer here? Our answer here is given by 185,196,18. That is how we find the money. Okay, that's number one. Let's check number two. A is equals to P into 1 plus I exponent n. This is 120,000 into 1 plus, remember it's 15, so that will be 0.15 all over. They said quarterly is 4, so divided by 4, close bracket. Then we have here, we have what? We have 3 multiplied by 4. Now let's go and change it on our calculator. Here we have 4, and then down there we have again 4. What do we have? Now we have 186,654, comma 52. That is what we are having if it's what? Compounded quarterly. Okay, now let's do the last one where it is compounded monthly. A is equals to P into 1 plus I exponent n. Okay, so we know that it's 120,000 into 1 plus 0.15 all over. Monthly is 12, so it's 12 exponent what? 3 multiplied by 12. Okay, now let's do it on our calculator. Okay, now we know that we'll have 120,000 into 1 plus 0.15 all over 12, close bracket, exponent 3 multiplied by 12. Okay, so we know that this will give us 187,673,26. That is our answer. Okay, so you see how we do it. Okay, so make sure every time whenever you are doing this compounding period, that here on your n you multiply by the compounding period. On your n, your I, remember your I, you start by saying I is equals to R over 100. Then after you get your answer in decimals, then that answer you're going to divide it by the compounding period. Okay, so I do advise mostly that you show it here. Okay, so that we are able to track it down. Okay, so that is how we deal with compounding periods. Okay, now let's go to what we call the timeline. Okay, the timeline, which is separated into different perspectives. Okay,